Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fringe Coverage. This podcast profiles the story, swings, and stars of the LPGA Tour. And whether you're new to women's golf or a longtime fan, hopefully this podcast helps you develop your own rooting interests in women's professional golf. And we have another very special guest today. I'm so fired up. She's an Olympian. She's a former Swedish Golfer of the Year, a two-time winner on the LPGA Tour, a four-time member of the Olympian and Solheim Cup team, and now entering her 10th season, 10th on the LPGA Tour, Madelene Sagstrom. Welcome to Fringe Coverage. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. You make me feel very old.
Well, let's start right there. What does it feel like to say this is year number 10 on the LPGA Tour?
Well, I think what first comes to me is just pride. The fact that I have been able to make golf my life, my living, and just living out my childhood dream. I think it's wonderful. And it's kind of like you have to pinch yourself sometimes to remember, like, I've made it here and I've worked really hard to doing, but I made it. How has that challenge changed over the years of, in the beginning, it's making it, but now maybe what seemingly is much harder is keeping it, sustaining it, and being consistent. How, if at all, has your approach had to change in terms of goal setting, in terms of keeping yourself at a consistent high level to stay a decade on the best women's professional tour there is? No, I think it's hard sometimes to forget the bigger picture. Like when you're in it, it's so much week to week, you want to perform. But the more you do it, the more you realize you don't remember a missed cut. You don't remember a top 10. But when you're in it, you're so in it. So I think that, the more I've played, the more that I try to focus on the small things. Like we always say, the process over the big things, but it's true. Like that's how you really enjoy this lifestyle when you get, your green regulation a little bit better, when you enjoy going to a city you normally don't enjoy going to. So I think it's been focusing on the small stuff, kind of making sure I remember that. I came from a small town in Sweden. I now live in Orlando, and I'm married I play golf for a living. I literally whack a little white ball around for a living. Like it's crazy.
You've won at life. Yeah.
Yeah. I worked hard at it, but I definitely made it. Yeah.
Absolutely. But that's a good mindset to have, right? There's all these youth golfers who are really trying to, this is their goal. Their goal is to make the tour, and you have made it. So yeah, no, good on you to actually, take a step back and appreciate that, all the hard work that you've done has paid off. How's the off season? Did you play a lot of golf or getting ready to go?
So I think that this year, I think also the older I've gotten, I play a bit more golf now. So I used to kind of take a little bit more time off. Now we keep calling it brush my teeth. So I do a little bit, little golf, but more often. So I never really have that completely fresh feeling of like, I don't really know how to make contact with the ball anymore. So I took a few weeks. My mom was over around Thanksgiving, so I took a couple weeks off there. And then after that, I've been probably playing a couple days a week. I've been practicing maybe 2-3 times a week and just kind of staying on top of it. We don't make too many changes to my game at the moment. We first of all, it's when you want to make big changes, you have to put in a lot of effort. And then what that's going to take time out of? The body's getting older. So is that going to cause injuries and stuff? So we're really trying to fine tune all this good stuff that I have at the moment. And my coach was over now before TOC, and it's really nothing crazy. We're just trying to find a bit of consistency. Keep striking the ball a bit better every day, just to give you yourself chances to make putts, really.
So you mentioned TOC. Don't worry, we're not going to open that can of worms too much. I do have to ask though. You know Orlando well. How cold was it out there?
That Sunday I have never. I've never played golf anything that or felt anything that cold. We were warming up on the range, and everyone's like, "But you're Swedish." I'm like, "Yeah, but we don't play golf in this stuff." And I was like, "This is when you go for a walk in your parka and your puffy clothes, and then you go inside and sit by a fire." It was definitely the coldest day I've ever been trying to be out on a golf course.
as two San Diegans watching that tournament, there's kind of some gluttony involved. Like we kind of want to watch you go out there, right? Because we get to sit in the comfort of our homes while it's 70 degrees and sunny out. It's kind of it was a very interesting place to be, to watch the conditions as they ramped up during that tournament. You mentioned growing up in Sweden in a small town. Tell us a little bit about maybe your introduction to golf, and just a little bit about where you're from and kind of how you made your journey from Sweden to LSU, ultimately to the LPGA. Kind of what a lot of our fans don't know is that background story.
Right. So I grew up about an hour from Stockholm, which is our capital, and my parents started playing about the time when I was born, and I have a younger brother, so we both were introduced to golf. When we were really young, they had to actually drive to the golf course. So a lot of times we would come with them and we would hit balls on the range. My brother's actually a lefty, so we would always stand and face each other, like trying to hit farther than the other. So it was more like a family thing in the beginning. My dad, we're all my kind of side of the family is farmers. Like I kind of grew up in that. So I actually grew up playing golf on a golf course that my dad's best friend had built on his farm. So we used to go out there and hit balls over cows and stuff, and kind of was my introduction to golf. And when we got a little bit older, we moved to the city where the golf course was. Town is still very small, about 30,000 people. So I started having access to golf. I could walk to the golf course and keep practicing. I did a bunch of other sports. I did gymnastics, soccer were probably my two big ones that I did for a long time. But let's just say I'm not the best team player. And the individuality of golf worked out much better for me. I didn't like the responsibility of others or being a burden for others. So I like going to the golf course. I liked that it was up to me how good I wanted to get. I kind of stuck with it, and I realized that maybe I was pretty good at this eventually. My brother was actually the super talent of us when we were younger, and people thought he was going to reach farther, but I seem to have a little bit bigger head than he does. So we still compete on a high level against each other when we see each other. But I decided kind of early that, I'm too big for my hometown. I want to move out of here. So I figured the best way to do that was in the sport that I was good at. So I wanted to play golf. I wanted to give golf a chance, because I said, what's the worst thing that can happen? That I'll move back home. So I actually went to a golf high school down in the south of Sweden, where I met my now coach that I still work with, Hans Larsson. He also works with Ludwig Aberg and all of he used to have Lynn Grant and Maya Stark used to go to his high school too. So he's got a pretty good system down there. And then it was either kind of turning pro right out of high school or go to college. And I didn't think I was good enough to turn pro. So I said, well, college it is. Got offered a ride to LSU and said, what's the worst thing that can happen? That I hate it and move home. And here I am still in America 15 years since. So it's been quite a wild ride, but it's been pretty cool. I've kind of always gone in with the mindset of trying to do my best, trying to be the best golfer and person I can be, and then kind of see what happens.
So when you got this offer from LSU, I assume you went down to Louisiana and you checked it out, and just a huge culture shock, I would imagine.
It wasn't as bad culture shock as I thought. I've always been quite open-minded. Like I love learning about people and talking to people, and I love seeing different places. So my dad and I actually went for a visit, and I never visited another school actually. I only went to LSU, and I was like, well, wow, this is great. Why would I need to go anywhere else? I was like, okay, why not? Let's go for it. So I loved it. I still remember like I had two really cool experiences, actually many, but like some like culture shock things. I remember my first day of classes. I remember I had scouted over my classes where I sat down in this classroom and everyone was talking to each other. And I was like, oh my God, they know each other here. And then this random person started talking to me and I'm like, I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? And I realized everyone was just nice. So that made me like, oh, wow, this is not really how we do it in Sweden. If I don't know you, I might not talk to you, most likely not. So that was kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So, from the start, everyone in the South was so warm. We were there, because I couldn't go home. So for Thanksgiving and holidays, we didn't celebrate people. We went to people's houses. They took great care of us. So it was a wonderful experience. And with golf, it was kind of interesting. I remember for probably my first semester, people were like, they heard my accent. They're like, you're not from here. Like, what are you doing here? I was like, well, I'm on the golf team. And they're like, well, that is so cool. And I was like, well, I've never been called cool in my whole life before. So this is great. Like, what is happening?
Total glow up on the spot. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, a Swedish golfer in Louisiana you had to have stood out at least and started standing out even more once they actually saw you play. You answered a question I had for you later. I was telling Tom, when I think of your golf game, the first word that always comes to mind to me is athletic. In terms of the move you have at the ball, your swing, it's very. It looks like someone who has played some sports. And I was going to ask you, were you playing sports growing up? Have you always treated golf as an athletic endeavor, just in terms of what your sports background was?
I think it kind of naturally falls like that with the season in Sweden. So we obviously can't play golf outside year round. We were fortunate when I moved to this. So in like a lot of times, Swedish people now, like they put their clubs in the basement and they don't touch them until probably April comes. That's kind of how you do it, amateur like style. And then the better you got, you maybe have access to a bit of indoor golf. But when I was in high school and when I was growing up, you focus a lot on working out. Like I said, I played soccer mostly, did a bit of gymnastics, so I had a bit of body control. I'm to this day, like I can't throw a ball to save my life because I'm used to like things with a stick attached to it. Like I could play hockey, I could play floorball, stuff like that, but like I can't throw a ball to my caddy to save my life. So kind of been around sports my whole life. My dad was always very interested. We watch, the Olympics is on downstairs at the moment, so we've always been very interested in everything. But I think for us, the fact of having that natural break in the winter meant we kind of kept working. We worked very hard on mechanics, which they still do. Like they're still, my coach is still over there, and he, like right now they're indoors. Like they're trying to figure out ways to keep working on your mechanics to keep getting better. But you have this natural part where you focus more on your body, focus more on, I wouldn't call it positions, but just the way your swing mechanics work. So I think, if you look at Swedish golfer, a lot of us have quite visually pleasing swings, I think mostly because of that.
For sure.
So you mentioned the Olympics. You are an Olympian. Could you please give us some insight on what that feels like, how that experience was for you?
So when the Olympics first came on the board, I remember one of the first Swedish Olympics camps that I went to. This was ages ago in Arizona, and it's kind of one of these weird things because it's something that we've never dreamt about, because golf was never on the scene for Olympics. So I never dreamt about Olympics. I always dreamt about Solheim. I dreamt about winning majors, and it was kind of when they came up and you're like, of course, like you say the things that everyone wants you to say, right? You're like, of course I want to be an Olympian, and not really realizing what it meant. And then I made a team in 2020, 21, whatever you want to call it. And I don't think I really realized until after, or maybe now I have in my bookcase downstairs, I have a picture of me by the Olympic rings. And I think that and I keep getting emails from the Swedish Olympic Committee sometimes. It's like how many Swedish people have been in the Olympics. And then you realize you're like, this is pretty cool. Like I represented my country in the biggest sporting events in the whole world. Like it's pretty sick. Like but it was never a dream. So it never hit maybe until after.
Yeah, I feel bad. The men's Swedish Olympic hockey team is playing right now. And when I looked at the schedule, I said, "Oh no, we got an interview with Madelene."
Well, we're actually having the curling on. We all support curling once every 4 years, so that's kind of how we're doing it. We love the curling.
And we all become curling experts when we watch it for, a couple days every 4 years.
So growing up in Sweden, did you find I'm staying on the Olympics here for a second. Were you more of a Winter Olympics fan, or Summer Olympics is something you would watch?
We watch everything, but I think that Winter Olympics kind of falls a bit more natural because it's cold, it's gray, it's rain, it's snow. So I remember my mom still does this. Like there's skiing on, cross country skiing, because Sweden is very good at that too. It's on every Saturday morning. Like that's what I grew up watching on TV when I was having my breakfast Saturday mornings, all over winter. So we love it. Swedish people get very proud when Swedish people do well. So we like that. I'm guessing US is the same a little bit, but so we watch when we do good. And then, but probably maybe watched a bit more of Winter Olympics, because summer, then I was out playing golf.
Yeah. I'm a huge hockey fan, and my favorite team is the Detroit Red Wings. So I follow a lot of Swedish hockey players. I actually am wearing a Swedish hockey jersey right now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, look at you.
We're going to have a chance to wear an Olympic hockey jersey in front of a Swedish Olympian. So
that's fantastic.
I love Henrik Zetterberg. I love Lucas Raymond and Simon Edvinsson and, all of them. So, while I root for the USA, I'm also going to be rooting hard for the Swedish team as well.
Oh my
Well, there's been
Lord.
plenty of them in Detroit, so.
Well, okay, this is probably the right time. We have a ton we want to ask you, but this is the right time to talk about Solheim Cup, Madeline. So,
After you said you don't like team sports.
right. Honestly,
Well, no,
that's exactly
I'm
what I
not
was
the
thinking.
best at it.
So I think that's super interesting, though. You talk about you played team sports. You found out very quickly the individuality of golf far better suited your personality and your athleticism and everything else. What is it you love about the Solheim Cup?
Well, I think it becomes the fact that this is not what we normally do. Like it's like I mean, I play for myself, I play for my caddy, my coach, like that, like I play for my team, but I don't ever play for another girl. Like, I mean, most of the time I want to beat all the other girls. So it's this experience that you come together for a week and then you kind of create these memories and experiences that you would never have by yourself, and you live on them for a little bit. And even now, like you have a specific bond to, I mean, specific players that you've done certain things with, and it's really really cool, and it gives you nerves that you don't normally have when you play by yourself. Like when you have a putt to win a match, when you have a putt to, I mean, to win a Solheim Cup. I can only imagine, like especially like 21 when Matilda, she had a plug bunker shot on 18. I was standing with her then boyfriend, and he's like, because he was not a golfer, and he's like, "Is that bad?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's not." We are like, "That's not great."
Yeah.
And she decides she makes up and down and to win the soul. I mean, like that's like moments that we don't like. You win for yourself when you play by yourself, but winning for something bigger, it's an incredible feeling, an incredible high.
So how does that pressure, whatever pressure you felt in the Solheim Cup, how does that pressure compare to a 72-hole stroke play event? Whether it's just the feelings you have standing over the ball or the pressure you feel, what is the difference between those two?
I mean, I would probably say it's kind of like the back nine. If you're up like fighting for a win, like the back nine you have knowing that you can come home with a trophy, you have that for 3 days. And it's also like I mean, I would say majority of us girls, like it's a lot harder watching than playing yourself. So being on the outside, watching your teammates play, it is nerve-wracking. It is so hard to sit on the outside. So it's kind of like it's a very mentally and physically draining week, just in the sheer emotion and kind of adrenaline that's going on. But I mean, it's the most like that I've dreamt about, like that, like compared to the Olympics, like that, those moments. I remember I was much more nervous for my first Solheim than I ever was in the Olympics. And it was, yeah, it's so hard to explain, and it's so hard to like tell the new girls that come out. It's just like you just have to do your first. And once you're done your first, you figure it out. Like it's kind of like you just need to get the first one under your belt.
So
Are there certain players you feel more comfortable being paired with?
Not really. I mean, they tend to put me out in four ball, and I played quite well in singles over the years. And it's always nice when you play with somebody that kind of plays a similar game to you yourself. I think Nana and I played quite well together at Inverness when we played there. I played well with Gemma. We actually don't play similar games, but we played well when we played in Spain together. And then Anna and I played really good together in especially first match in at Robert Trent Jones. So it was. It doesn't really matter, but when you kind of get a good momentum, somebody somebody you enjoy talking to, hang out with, it's a nice flow. I mean, but since we hang out the whole week, like you really pretty much I can play with anyone. Like it's fine. Like you put me with them and we'll figure it out.
So you mentioned Anna. You're the new European captain for this year's Solheim Cup team. Talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Anna and what your approach to this year's Solheim Cup is in terms of your own expectations for yourself of hoping to make the team, and also what do you see in Anna that's going to make a great captain for Europe?
I mean, she has so much experience. First of all, I mean, she done eight? Has she done eight so
She's a killer.
She's done it. I mean, and she's been in this game for so long. So I mean, just being around her. I mean, having the experience, especially like in Solheim's when we played together. I mean, hanging out outside of golf, and my husband worked a little bit for her for a while, and She's this person, like she's never done with inspiration of trying to get better. Like every day she's trying to get better. And I know she's worked her butt off to trying to figure out how to do this Solheim the best she can. There's something special about playing on home soil. I didn't realize that because my first two, I missed the year when we were in Scotland, and my first one in Europe was in Spain. And I didn't realize that people actually would cheer for you and not just boo you. Because my first two were in America, so people weren't
Yeah.
really cheering; they weren't chanting. Like, and especially our second one, when we didn't have any fans. So, I mean, being at home, I mean, of course, there's a lot of pressure for her. It's a lot of pressure on the team, but I think now, like from now until this summer, when the qualifications are gonna be done, you're gonna see I'm thinking it's gonna be quite obvious who's gonna be on the team. So I think, I mean, if you want, I've always said to everyone, you want to make a Solheim, but you want to also make a Solheim and play well. You don't want to go to a Solheim and play bad. Like that could ruin your career. That can ruin, I mean, your like the view of yourself too. So I've always said, if I don't play well enough, I don't really want to make the team. Like I want to go to a Solheim and contribute for myself, my country, my for Europe. So it's really kind of, I find that it's kind of easy. Like if you play well enough, you deserve to be there, and then you're gonna go and hopefully play well there too.
Anna is someone that, while we saw firsthand what happened with Keegan, man, it felt like an early call for Anna, only because I could still see her just bringing out the sticks and still probably, I've got some scar tissue as a U.S. fan watching what Anna and you and Leona and Matilda have done in recent years. So the thought of her, I think I kind of like her being captain just to take her off the golf course. But do you feel that she, if she wanted to, I'm not saying she wants to, let's get ahead of this now. Could she probably be a playing captain in the sense of her game still being able to go contribute points for Europe if she wanted to this year?
I mean, I definitely think her game is capable enough of it for sure, because she's a wonderful player. I don't know if it's something that she's even considering doing or wants to do. I have a hard time. It's hard enough just being captain, and I have a hard time seeing it being easy to do both. Like I don't. I mean, it's. You see what they do. I mean, we don't even see half what's going on behind the scenes, and it is incredible the amount of work. So it'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I could ever captain and play myself at the same time. So who knows?
You mentioned being booed during an away Solheim Cup. How does that feel? Because I assume, I mean, most times at a golf event, everyone's rooting for everybody, right? You're just having a good time, but this is a little different.
I mean, to be fair, people are not really, I mean, I've had security walk with me, and there's been plenty of bad moments too. But like people say, like, but it's more that they're cheering on the other team, I would say, than they're really nasty. Like some people are nasty, but a lot of times it's because they drink too much and then they just get obnoxious and weird. But I mean, sometimes then you walk past someone, they're like, good shot. We still want the US to win a good shot, like, but that's different. Like I always say, like, this is why we don't play American football. Like, we're not one or the other. Like, we normally have fans that root for everyone, or they have one favorite out of 155. Like, they don't, it's interesting. And that's probably what really, what brings the best out of Solheim, that you have one side or the other that you're rooting for. And it's a cool experience for a sport that, we don't have that on a weekly basis.
Did I see you were out at Waste Management this past week?
I was, yes.
How was that experience? Again, back to drinking fans and things getting out of hand. How was the experience, and what do you think it's going to take for the LPGA to have an atmosphere like that? Yeah.
As a player, first of all, I know. As a player, I don't know if I really want an atmosphere like that. I find it, I'm a little bit conflicted, because in one way, like, it's wonderful for the community. It's wonderful for all of Phoenix, what that tournament brings in. We were talking about it. It's the biggest sporting event, I would think, that happens there yearly. And it's great for tourism and great for that. But part of me thinks that golf gets a bit lost. I felt really bad for what happened to Hideki during his final hole and during the playoffs. And like just walking around with the crowd, my favorite is when I walk around on golf courses and I listen to the crowd, the stupid stuff that people say. It's fantastic. But this was even more stupid because people don't come there for golf.
Right.
So that I find that being a golf fan and being in the environment where I want to watch the guys, I want to learn, I want to be there. I mean, my dad had his bucket list experience of being there with me, and it kind of gets lost a little bit. So it's like we want to have something similar, but I want them to show our talent, show how good we are. I want it to be more focused on that, not just a drinking fest.
Yeah,
I mean, people were walking around
with
wasted management shirts. It's not. It's become crazy.
Yeah, they don't hide it for sure. It's very much on the nose of what they want out of themselves, and the best of people rarely comes out in that type of an environment. And I mean, just look no further than the Ryder Cup with Rory recently. I mean, some things can happen. And for the women's game specifically, you all are poised. I think you guys are on the precipice of a moment here. The talent has always been there on the tour, and it seems like there's a lot of momentum. And I wouldn't want that crowd could really take a women's event sideways really fast. But at the same time, I love the amount of enthusiasm that event garners, whether it's channeled a little bit differently. I think I can agree with you. I wish the spectacle was the golf, not necessarily the bottom of my beer glass. But so you're 10 years in. Let's see how many times I can say that to you and how old I can make you feel today by keep saying that number. We just mentioned the tour has made some recent changes, but as you zoom out to 2017, and how have you seen the tour change over the decade? And specific to you, how have your own habits changed during those 10 years? Let's start with the tour first. How have you seen it evolve since you started?
Oh, tremendously. I do think, I agree. I think we're on a good run. I think we have a good situation where we have a good product to sell and for people to enjoy. I don't think we're there yet. I'm not sure if maybe we'll never get there, but I think that we've done a lot of good things over the years. I mean, we keep playing better golf courses. We've played for bigger purses than when I came out. Unfortunately, I still see the lack of fans. I still see the lack of fans that come out to tournaments. I hear plenty of it. I hear a lot of people saying that they watch the tour and that they enjoy watching us play, but from time to time, it is quite empty out there. So it's such a hard, it's kind of like the hen or the egg, what comes first,
Right.
I think that, Nellie's obviously, her run over the last few years has been great. I think
Sure.
we needed an American good female golfer to be on the big stage. I don't know how this new WTGL thing is going to be. I think they're trying things, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard to kind of pinpoint what is happening and what's happened, especially when you're in it. I think what most of the girls are focused on is I want you to give me more money so I can make more money. That's kind of what what the girls focus on a lot of times. But it's kind of a little bit better with kind of the flow of the schedule from year to year. Sometimes we bounce a bit back and forth, but we just really need to keep creating a good product for the fans to come out and enjoy. I think we do a good job with the juniors. There's plenty of kids that come out that are coming from below. We just need to keep growing. It's really, really hard.
It is, but I think what's tough is it's impossible to pinpoint because it is all those things you just listed, right? There has to be a good junior program, there has to be good broadcast coverage, there has to be solid play, obviously on the course, there has to be good courses and good purses, and honestly, for all of you to make more money, there probably has to be some investment, not only from the outside but from yourselves too, of what's asked of you and how much you do interviews with Fringe Coverage or anybody else for that matter to tell your own story. Switching gears.
If I'm going to be completely frank, though, I think that the environment, the generation of players that are coming out from college, I personally I'm not a big fan of NIL and the NIL money. I see a big difference in the players that come out now compared to the players that I grew up with. When I play with the Brittany Lincecums, Brittany Langs, Morgan Pressels, they represented the game in a little bit different ways. I think girls nowadays have become a little bit more needy, more private, less of the grow the tour and grow the game, and more so what's in it for me. It's something that I'm starting to see a little bit, having been in this game for so long. I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen with that, but I do see a difference, and we're trying to shake the girls in like every week. I do think Craig is going to be great for the tour, what he's done so far. I mean, it's always a lot of words, but you're starting to see a little bit of actions, and I think from what I've spoken to him in private and with other people, I think he's going to be good, but it's really up to the girls if they want the tour to get better.
So well said.
That's interesting to hear that point of view about the NIL, because we do hear in college sports there are players who do well and then they go, okay, well then where am I going to go that'll pay me more money to leave? And there's really no loyalty there. And like you said, it's not really a team first mentality. It is a me, me, me. How can I build my brand? How can I get my name out there to make more money?
Correct.
And it does seem like, now that's definitely more of a focus on some of these younger athletes.
Yeah, and I think in our world, I mean, just when some of my friends went out, I mean, Pernilla Lindberg, she was out 15 years ago. Like even back in there, like there was one point when they were like, is this tour gonna survive or not? Then it's not. I mean, it's really not up to Craig if it's gonna survive. It's up to us. Like it's recreating a personable entertainment. Like I've always. Like I'm a professional athlete, but at the end of the day, I'm really an entertainer. Like if people don't enjoy watching me play golf, I don't have fans and I don't have a job. Like if I am boring or if I don't create a good product and a good brand for myself, people could care less. So I think that for me, it's kind of, we have to get back a little bit into that and just like like you said, we plan for something bigger than ourselves. Like if we want the LPGA tour to continue to thrive, I think it has to come back to that more personable. Like remember, like there was I mean the founders started this, like they went around and like asked, like it's unbelievable. It's really like it's nobody else is going to do it for us.
For sure. Funny segue. You mentioned the founders. I'm going to talk about the founders tournament for a second, because there's no way we're going to get through an interview with you without mentioning the 2024 founders, because it may have been the most bizarrely spaced out clinic of golf I've ever seen. For fans that don't know what we're talking about, Madelene got herself into a duel with Rose Zhang that no one knew was coming, and Rose eventually won. And I don't mean to rub salt in that wound, but Rose and Madelene were both 24 and 22 under respectively, and third place was 13 shots back of that at 9 under. There's 144 players every week. Have you ever been part of a tournament where you've seen 2, or I don't even care, 4 players separate that much? And were you just on another level that week?
Good question. I mean, I've always I think we played that golf course maybe 3 or 4 times. And even from the first time I went there, I loved it. Like I played well the year before too. And I love the layout. Just like, go to a place and it just suits your eye. And like, I think golf is such a momentum sport, and traditionally I'm a good putter, but like I was just holding everything. Like I was hitting it well enough. I was in the fairway, just holding everything. And unfortunately she was doing the same thing. But I mean, it was this, like looking back at it, like I was very upset. I was very sad, but I'm like, I gave it everything I had, like, and sometimes somebody has a little bit more than you. And I mean, I think we displayed a different level of golf that week, and it was incredible to do that. I wish that I would have pulled a little longer straw than she did, but sure. But it was, I mean, it's moments like that. It's like that's like for me that helps grow the game. Like for us, like we're literally having a match play competition between the two of us and going back and forth, and it was incredible to be a part of that.
Did you have a sense while it was happening of how much better you all were playing than everyone else? I know there's leaderboard watching, but did you feel that what the course was offering was something that there should have been a lot more players getting up to those low numbers where you and Rose were?
I don't, it's so hard. Like when you're in it, It's really hard to focus on too many other people. I think that, no, the thing is, it's that one of those courses, like if you're a little bit off, it's so easy to start, like we were kind of on the right spot, right side of the pins. And you just have to make putts. Like if there's some tighter golf holes out there. So if you were kind of in the trees, like you can start losing shots pretty quickly. So I wouldn't say that we were just, I mean, we were not hitting it in trouble, and we were taking advantage of the opportunities we had. I mean, I think that probably other people could have played I mean, good too, but that week we were just like, I mean, we weren't making any mistakes, really. I mean, if you're 22, 24 under, you don't really make any mistakes.
So how do you follow that up the next tournament? Knowing that everything went right this tournament, you're hitting everything from any place on the course. Do you go into the next tournament with the same mindset? Like, yeah, I could do this. I just did it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, I still finished second in a golf tournament. Like, it was still a great week, you know?
Yeah.
So I think you're trying to continue to build that momentum. I remember standing on, I think it was like 13th tee box, and I stood there, I'm like, I got this. Like, I was up and I was playing really well, and I got this. And then I think our last 4 holes, with 2 par threes, and we hit it about maybe that, I feel like I remember, like, we were about half a club off from each other, and I was on all of those off numbers, and she had the perfect shot. So I had to try to manipulate something to hit, and so she just hit it closer to me and made more. I mean, she finished. She birdied last 4 out of 5. Like, how are you gonna, like? I didn't lose it. She won. We were like, I didn't lose. She won it. Like, but I mean, I wish if I would have like completely sucked the last few, I probably would have been more upset. But I'm like, if you've been birdie last 4, like, good for you. Like, that's incredible golf, you know? So you're just trying to keep momentum up and just trying to keep, trying to keep doing it again and again and again.
It's been, I think, 5 years now since you openly shared about your own personal trauma, how you've handled it. And by byproduct of that, you've become an inspiration to a ton of people just because of your willingness to be vulnerable and share the story by that many others share. But you've also, in your interviews, mentioned how sharing this has changed the way you view yourself. And you've, in many interviews over the course of your career, you've talked about how you can be very hard on yourself and you strive for perfection. And what are some of the changes you see in yourself on and off the course since you've made yourself this vulnerable, and how have you seen that change manifest itself?
There's so much that both have, has changed on the outside and inside. I think that the big thing is that the perspective of, like, there's so much more to life than golf. There's so much more. There's so many more important things. Like, I love what I do, and I will never stop loving this game and what it's given me. But at the end of the day, like, I want to go to bed and be as happy as I can be and feel like I've been the best human being today, to my husband, to my friends, to my family. And I mean, I want to go out and feel like I've done the best practice session I can do too. I think it's given me a lot of perspective. Hopefully it's given me more empathy, and hopefully I'm trying to find that in others, that you never know what anyone is going through. Like, you have no idea. Like, you see somebody and somebody's behavior, you might not agree with it, but do you really know what's going on? I think I just want to, I've never really, I of course I've been ashamed, but I've never wanted it to define me either. I feel like I'm so much more than my history and my experiences, and I've always wanted to continue to grow and get better from it. And I've always found that if I face it and I look at it, then I have a greater chance of, both feeling better in myself, and then if I can help somebody else feel better, like, just knowing that they're not alone in something. And I also figured out quite early that being a victim, like, or owning your story takes you out of that feeling like a victim. Like, I don't wish it upon anyone, but at the same time, I don't want to go back and change anything, because it's created who I am. Like, I'm very proud of the person that I am. I'm proud of the golfer that I am, but I wouldn't do that without my history, my stories, everything that I've gone through in my life. So I think that I'm trying to, instead of pitting myself, I don't pity anyone. Like, life is hard. Like, life is hard no matter what you go through, but then it's like, what do you do with it? Like, what do you do with your stories, and how can you help, like, make that create you into a better person? So I just trying to, I try to wake up every day and just be the best version of myself, and hopefully that inspires somebody, whether they have the same story that I have or whatever it is, just trying to grow up and be a little bit better every day.
That's so perfectly lovely said. I'm just like, that will be the social media thumbnail. That will be the clip that we share of Madelene. That was so beautifully said. You said when this all started, one of the things you wanted was you'd like to start believing in yourself the way your team believes in you. How have you gone about actually doing that? How's that going, Madelene?
It's going, I mean, to be fair, it's going well. I think that, I mean, we're always going to be our own biggest critics in whatever we do in life. It's always so much easier. It's always easier to be hard on yourself than to be hard on others. And I think for me, like even last year, having my first win in 5 years, that was, I mean, for my confidence, like that was humongous. And I was like, I mean, the amount of times I stand at practice, I was like, can I really do this though? Like, do I have what it takes? And that, like, stuff like that, just like, no, I got this. Like, I still have this. Like, I think it's just trying to find like any little moment where you're like, no, I'm still pretty good at this. I got this, that, I figured that out. And if I don't know it yet, I'm gonna keep learning and keep growing.
All right, Madelene, let's get you talking about some fun stuff. Still golf related, but we're going to go to a segment we call Caddy Corner. So I had a question all teed up for you, but then you mentioned something earlier in the interview that really piqued my interest. So you said when you were at the Waste Management, you hear all these people just saying the dumbest stuff, and they probably think that they're very informed and they're impressing their friends and the other people around them. What are the things that spectators get just so incredibly wrong while watching professionals play golf?
I believe that the more you know, then you realize how little you know.
Totally.
So I feel like when you hear all these, what did they do that for? Why did they? I'm like, or like, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, you had no idea. Like, it's like this game is so incredibly hard. Like, this is like, I mean, we don't do one sport. Like, we do so many sports because you have one swing on a drive there, and then you're going to turn it the other way there, and then you're trying to do that. And it's, I sometimes get upset and I'm sad because I know the amount of time and hours that we put into this game, but people kind of get naive and like, well, that was stupid. And I was like, yeah, they know that was stupid and that was bad. Like, they know, like, but it's hard. Yeah. Like, it's a hard game. For sure. So I get frustrated for players when I hear people being critical and being judging something that these players have, like, we work every day at this thing and we never do anything else our whole lives. And then you're going to judge us and you're like, you can't even shoot 85. I was like, how is that fair?
Yeah.
I would love, we should get a camera crew to follow you around at professional events, and you just hear somebody say like, oh, I could have made that. And then you go, oh yeah, let's see it. Let's show me how you would have done this any differently.
My favorite is always when we're at tournaments. So Shane and I worked together for obviously a long time. This is our 6th year together. And sometimes we walk around like you can't see a shot. You're like, you're waiting and looking to see if you see some claps. And then sometimes you go up and you're like, well, that was pretty good. And Shane is always like, yeah, but don't forget they're better than you. So that's why they don't clap.
So you mentioned Shane. What role does Shane play for you now? However, whether that's on the course, off the course, what are you relying on Shane for these days?
Oh, I mean, I rely a lot on Shane. He drives me around. I'm a passenger princess. He does my laundry. No, but it's, I've always, I strongly believe that players in general change caddies too much. I mean, Shane has never hit a golf shot in his whole life on a golf course. I always like my whole mindset has always been, I'm going to make a lot more mistakes than you are. But I hope you own yours and I will own mine. And I think that for me, I haven't had many caddies. I've had 3, and then with Jack doing a few events for me here and there. But I think that I've really just looked at it, having a companion that I enjoy spending 8, 9, 10 hours a day with, having somebody out there that I know is going to do their absolute best for us to perform the best we can. And it's always been important for me, especially now with Shane, that golf is not everything. And it's not everything for him. He's got a family back in Ireland that he supports. And that is the most important thing in his life. And that takes a lot of stress off of me and my game, knowing that we're both doing this for a bigger purpose. Like I'm not like, he doesn't live week to week. If we have a bad week, we both know that we've done the best we can. But just knowing that, in theory, your caddy is the only person on this golf course that wants you to do well, because his job depends on you, right? Like your coach might have other people that they coach, and your fans, your other friend, like yeah, they want you to do well, but literally that's the only person that is in your, like, he depends on you, right? So, I mean, we built up a beautiful friendship over the years too. I'm fortunate to know his family really well. They were all at my wedding, and his kids are wonderful. They were all here for Halloween actually. So, it's kind of become obviously more than you can maybe ask for sometimes. But I think it's because we both have good perspective of what we do. We travel a lot together. We stay a lot together, but we're good at turning off golf when we're off, and then we're good at when we're on the golf course. We go out, we do our best. It's our job. But then when we go back, normally we sit and watch drummers on YouTube, and then kind of eat Chipotle, and that's it.
Are you a drummer?
Easy, Tom.
No,
easy.
but we love it. No, but my favorite thing, like watching drumming or like Drumeo on YouTube, it's like some of our favorite things to do.
Madeline, me too. So I took up drums probably about 25 years ago. I am not good. And, I always thought I was kind of good. I could play this, whatever music I like. And then Drumeo comes along, or all these drumming influencers on YouTube or Instagram, and I just go, oh, I'm awful compared to these people. And like, you see all these savants, even these 10-year-olds who could just run circles around me on the drums. And it kind of, humbled me a little bit.
That's what I wish most people did about golf then.
Oh yeah, my entire Instagram is either drums or golf or recipes. So I do watch a lot
That's
of it
funny.
and just feel badly about myself afterward.
Just what you thought you were going to talk to us today about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Something that fascinates me, and I feel like you're going to be honest with us, Madeline, because some people are not going to answer this question honestly. I'm fascinated by pro-ams, not because I want to play in them, but because of the position it puts you in and week out as a professional golfer. I think the LPGA does it. Do you still do 9 holes or do you do 18s?
We do a bit of both.
Does it depend on the tournament?
It depends on the tournament, depends on the sponsor.
The 9-hole feels like it makes so much sense. If I'm the corporate yuckity yuck that wants to spend 18 holes playing with professional golfers, it makes a heck of a lot of sense that you only got to do 9 with me, and someone will also pick me up at the turn to maybe spell you from however I am. I got to imagine you've had amazing pro-am experiences. I've heard you interview saying you actually very much enjoy the pro-am components. I'm sure not every pro-am is amazing, and your playing partners, you've seen every skill level or lack thereof of golf, but also just personalities and how people want to interact with you. How do you I'm curious specifically, how do you approach pro-ams? Do you go into it with Shane saying, I need to remember these people's names. You need to help me on the first hole because I want to talk to them for 9 holes. Are you just trying to play your own game? And if they want to come talk to you, they can. Are you trying to give them tips? How do you approach a pro-am?
You just open a big can of worms here.
No.
I have a lot of opinions about this.
Let her cook,
Shane
Madeline.
does
Go
too.
ahead.
And I think that this is part of the reason why I struggle with the new generation coming out, because without pro-ams, our tour would not exist. Like,
Right.
it is the bread of what we do. And it's the day when we play with the sponsors of the tournaments, their customers, and their people. Like, they're the whole reason why we have a golf tournament in the first place. I get very upset when I see girls on their cell phones. I have days when I go up to Shane and be like, I don't feel like talking today. But then when I get on that first tee box, this is a part of my job description. If I work the Publix, I have to do scanning of the groceries. Like, this is a part of what I do. I think that too many people forget, like, it's their, like, well, I'm shy. I don't like to talk to people I don't know. But then it's like, figure out your cues. Have a list of 5 questions you ask these people. Make them feel that this is about them. Give them a tip or two. I played in a pro-am not too long ago, this past year, and this guy, I think he'd played in 13, like, the same tournament for 13 years. And he came up to Shane after, and she's like, she's the first person that's been trying to help trying to help somebody get better. And like, we have this skill that, first of all, we have the skill in the game of golf, but we have this, I mean, in whatever sport, can you pay money to spend 5 hours with somebody? Like, you can't do that in basketball. Like, you can sit at the front row, but like, it's like they have an opportunity to pick your brain and give it to them. Like, this is why we have a golf tournament. And I get very, Of course, there's days when you don't like when you're tired. And I've had people that are annoying. I have people that are useless at golf. I've had everything, but I would never. I would never said I had a bad pro-am because it's up to me how I want the day to work. If sometimes you have people that are not as talkative, then you might have to ask more questions. But eventually, most people get comfortable, and the big thing is that they want to be there. Like I always go, you could do a lot worse things on a Wednesday, couldn't you? And that's the thing. Is like you don't realize. Some of these girls don't realize that these people work in an office majority of the time. Like nobody's out here on the golf course on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it's an opportunity. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity for us to grow our brand, to grow our fan base, and to make people excited about what we do. I don't think enough girls. I mean, there's a lot of girls that are wonderful at this, of course. I've heard that the guys, majority of them are pretty bad. Unfortunately, but they don't have to be as good as we are because for some reason they get the money anyways, but we don't. No, but I think the big thing, like we're trying to get, like if I was a sponsor at a tournament and I came in and I paid whatever $25,000 to play with a player that didn't interact with me, I wouldn't want to put my money there. I would want to put my money somewhere else. Yeah. So I think it's the easiest and most wonderful opportunity to make sure that we have a job. I mean, sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, we should get paid for a Wednesday," and we're like, "Yeah, you do on Sunday." Like if you play well over the weekend, you get paid on Sunday. That's the whole reason. Yeah. I can understand sometimes when you go places and you play off times in a pro-am that you want to get paid, and so do I. But on a Wednesday, like for me, Wednesday is the most important day of the week. That's the whole reason why I can play golf for a living.
How often is someone actually soliciting Madelene Sagstrom's golf advice, regardless of how good or bad their game is?
I think people are probably mostly intimidated by the fact that we're good at what we do, and that also that we're women sometimes. It's more if I don't invite, if I invite when you open that box, a lot of times they'd be very willing to keep asking questions. But if I don't invite, then they most likely won't ask. You have very few people that will go and like go ask you questions because sometimes I think that's kind of the vibe whatever the player opens up. We always keep saying because Shane and I we banter a lot, like that's why we just love giving each other crap constantly. So we're always like I always joke at him. I was like, he picks the worst player and then he gives you tips. But it's just such a wonderful experience. So like, could you I remember to this day I still remember one of my best proms experience. I played with this player 18 holes and the worst golfer I have ever seen. Could not make contact with the ball. On the 18th hole, we worked all day long of trying to do something, right? But on the golf course, like you guys know, it's hard to get better at things. Like you really need to be on a range. On the golf course, this player made contact with the ball and hit it maybe 50 yards. I don't care. And we have never cheered that loud in a group ever. To this day, I still remember this. Like it's because it was this player just like their eyes were just lit up. It was like, I made contact with the ball. Like this is wonderful. And it makes you feel really good about yourself when somebody learns something new and can bring something home, whatever level it is. But it's you can really, we have so many things that we know that a lot of people don't know. Like if you can give them one little nugget, like it's lovely for them.
I'll take any nuggets.
Do you find yourself wanting to share with these people?
Oh, we do plenty of it. Yeah. We kind of scout like one or two holes and then eventually we just like start digging down on them.
Yeah. Okay. You and I are playing a match. You're giving me probably more than a stroke a hole at this point. We come to 18 and we're tied up. We're on the 18th tee. When and how are you picking your spots to say something to get under my skin? And what are you going to say?
To be honest, I probably would have started on hole number 2. You need to build it up, so until it actually gets to you. If you find the right person, you start from the beginning. Like it's not, I want to have a laugh. Like I want to enjoy my time out there. Like sometimes people ask when I'm home and play, and it's like, why don't you play with the pros? And I was like, they're boring. I don't want to play with them. I want to play with like people that are fun and then enjoy the game,
Well,
I would love it if you were just sugary sweet for the first 17 and then just at the 18th you just going hard.
Let it rip.
Yeah, you could rip our souls from us very easily. We are two fragile little boys on the golf course. We may project confidence on a podcast, but you put a club in our hands, and all of a sudden we are. Let's just say we second guess ourselves every chance we can get. We're our own worst critics, but we're also each other's best hype men on the course. So
that's funny.
I totally get the cheering part of that 50-yard shot because that's as far as Tom hits it. Right. Madelene, you have been incredibly generous with your time. This has been an absolute blast. We can't thank you enough for making time for us today. We're super excited to see you in 2026. I'm just curious, got any goals for 2026? How's the game feeling right now? What's on your mind as you head into 2026?
Game feels pretty good. Like I said, I had my first tournament under my belt not last week, the week before. It was okay. There was like I said, I haven't done many changes, just trying to find a little bit more consistency. To be honest, I actually changed a lot of stuff in my bag this year. I'm with Callaway, so I changed to their new driver. It's probably my favorite one in a while. Struggled a little bit off the tee last year. The good ones were good, but the bad ones were a little bit too bad, so they started costing. So last week I hit the driver really, really nicely on the course in the tournament. So, I would love to give myself an opportunity to win again. It was wonderful to win last year. I would love to give myself an opportunity to win. Well, we only have stroke play tournaments this year, so I would love to give myself an opportunity for that, and just gonna see where it takes me. I mean, I've always said I'm gonna play golf until I love golf, and I'm gonna play golf until I love something else more. And so far I don't, but I want to keep enjoying that, enjoying the travel. Sometimes it gets a bit harder, but just kind of really, enjoying however many years I have left to doing this game, and just keep finding the joy in being out there and enjoy. Really just because it's not always a glamorous, easy life. Like it's hard work too. So gonna play in what I feel like playing, and then just enjoy it.
Well, I'd say that when you're done, you could probably be a mentor to some of the up and comers, because it sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders, and you need to straighten out some of these youngsters.
But I love it. A lot of opinions, if anything.
LPGA, if you're listening, I don't know if Madelene's offering her services, but I bet you could have her teach a couple rookie classes for sure. Madelene, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck this season, and hopefully we run into you on some of the courses this year out on tour.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Huge thanks again to Madelene Sagstrom for joining us. And if you have suggestions for players or topics for us to discuss on this podcast, send an email to fringecoverage@gmail.com. And if you're enjoying the content, you can always follow us on Instagram as well, @FringeCoveragePod. And whether you're approaching from the fairway or the rough, we got you covered inside the Fringe.